Hello, I'm Angie Dale and I want to say hi to everyone at the FX School. We're so glad to be able to work with you guys. India has such a great filmmaking tradition and in recent years it has really become a significant player on the world stage in the area of effects and animation. To explain a little bit about FX PhD, let me introduce one of the founders, Mike Seymour. Now, Mike has been in visual effects for years, having worked in London, Hollywood and Sydney. He was for many years a specialist compositor, and along with David Edgar and John Montgomery, he is one of the original founders of FX PhD.
Thanks, Ange. We're delighted to be able to partner with the FX School to bring FX PhD's unique brand of training to India. Literally, from the beginning of FX PhD, we had India in our sights. In fact, John and I visited there in several trips, but the first of which I think was in term 2, almost 4 years ago. And at that time, I was really impressed by the quality of the artists and the commitment from all the people that we spoke to, from filmmakers to editors, effects people. All the community that we talked with really impressed us greatly. And I wanted just to outline what I think makes FX PhD so special. Dave Edgar will pick up on these points in a minute after I'm finished, and frankly, he often does a better job at explaining the fine details than I do. But I did want to point out why I think FX PhD is so successful and why it's gained such a huge international following. FX PhD is, well, we basically want to educate the industry worldwide, to offer people stuff that is really, truly world-class, because often people pretend that what we do is easy. They say, oh, that's a really beautiful effect shot. And they'll say something like, gosh, isn't it amazing what these machines can do now? Is there nothing these machines can't do? And of course, you and I know that that's not true. The machines themselves can't do anything. It's people like you and people working with those machines that make the magic, that actually make things come to life. So we try and avoid oversimplifying things and dumbing them down and saying that there's just a button press and it's done. We do try and show you instead a very detailed and complex workflow that's needed to produce today's world-class material. But we won't oversimplify. We won't pretend that it's all easy. We will try and make it easy for you to understand, easy for you to produce great work, but we're not going to avoid the hard stuff. We're going to demystify it, but not pull any punches. FX PhD is designed for a person who, well, wants to produce very good quality work, not somebody that just wants to play and muck around. It's designed for the industry, for the latest global techniques and procedures. And to do this, we work with the most senior professionals from around the world, the very best of the best, as you might say. And we do this so that you have the experience and perspective of some of the best practicing VFX professionals from around the world. And they are teaching really serious, comprehensive courses that cover the sort of stuff from onset to post-delivery that's really at the cutting edge of what's being done. They are, as I say, working professionals. Nearly all of them are in full-time employment in effects around the world, from Europe to Hollywood. We're really proud of them, and we're really proud of now being able to partner all of that experience with the FX School. The first such partner we've actually really trusted and felt completely confident with, and the first initiative like this we've done worldwide. I hope in the coming months and years you'll find a dozen reasons to drag me over there to India so that I can visit. Unfortunately, I'm filming here in Sydney at the moment, so I can't be with you right now. But the very best of luck, and as we move forward, I hope you'll work with us to produce some really outstanding visual effects and post-production.
Thanks, Mike. And of course, Mike is just one of our vast team of professionals here at FX PhD. And let me join in wishing you and FX School all the very best.
If someone is only taught the softwares, only the tools, he just ends up knowing what tool to use in certain instances, but never knowing a holistic approach of approaching a particular shot. If you haven't practiced enough, you won't get anywhere.
The other thing is, when a student would work in a studio, he's not going to get the same kind of shot again and again. He has to work on different kinds of, shots.
So the best part about the VFX course at FX School is that it's a project-based approach as opposed to a software-based approach towards a certain topic. Student tends to forget every tool that was taught to him. But if he physically applies all the tools and all the learnings onto a project, it goes deeper into his head and deeper into his understanding.
There's a thing called match move. If your camera is moving and you have to add an external element over there. Once I taught this concept, they were still quite unsure of it, like where exactly it's used. So what we did is we shot a small little freeze frame kind of a shoot, wherein a person sneezes and everything freezes in time, but the camera just keeps on moving. So at that point they understood, all right, I have to match the motion of that still element with the motion of the camera.
So this sort of encourages a creative learning atmosphere as compared to a very structured learning atmosphere.
Only when you do practical projects, you realize that you missed out on something. But now I've already shot it. Now, how do I fix it?
There's always two ways of doing things. One is the longer and the more structured and the right way of doing things. And the other one is the smarter way, as we Indians popularly call jugaad. Deadlines are a very, very important and an integral part of the whole pipeline. It's very important in a pipeline to do things the smart way, rather than do things the long way.
I worked on a movie once where I had to clean up pimples on a face. And the time limit given to us was 50 frames in half an hour. The right approach would be to actually patch up the pimple with taking some skin sample over here, moving it on top, and if the face is moving, again we have to do that match move thing. That might take a lot of time. So what we did was we rotoed out, we masked that pimple, we added some blur onto it, and then we just smacked some grain onto it. So a shot which would have otherwise taken at least say 2 to 3 hours was done in say 15 minutes.
So during this whole project-based approach towards project, the students end up learning a more structured way to do things, at the same time also sort of hook onto the jugaad method. The project-based course really helps the student to work out as an industry professional as opposed to a tool operator.
We are not teaching him just the software, but we are teaching him the concept behind approaching a particular shot or a particular tool. So even if he walks into a studio where he's told to work on a different software, so he can easily adapt to a new software because his fundamentals are clear.